Welcome back from break, everybody. Today is just kind of a review of proportions. We're going to be using proportions for the next chapter we're going to be doing. So today I just wanted to review proportions, which is an algebra review. So anytime you have a proportion, remember a proportion is a fraction equals a fraction. And there's going to be a missing number in this proportion. So to solve for that missing number, you're always going to multiply diagonally. Multiply the diagonals. So we're going to multiply the 3 in the n, multiply the 5 in the 5. So 3 times n is 3n. 5 times 5 is 25. Then it just becomes an equation. Like any other equation, I can divide by 3. So divide by 3. And it equals 8.3 repeating. And if you just want to round this off to 8.3, that's fine. So number 2 is the same way. We're going to multiply the 5 and the 9, multiply the 2 and the p. It doesn't matter which direction you start with, but I like to start with the variable. So 2p equals 5 times 9 is 45. Now just solve for p divided by 2. So p equals 22.5. So the first two questions are the easiest two, because all you have to do is solve for that one missing variable. Now the next two are a little bit trickier. Now the next two, if you notice, there isn't just a missing variable. This is a binomial, but we're going to start it the same way. So we're still going to multiply these diagonals. But when I multiply the 3 times n minus 2, I want to make sure and distribute. So to show that, I'm going to take 3 parentheses n minus 2 equals 8 times 5 is 40. So it's 3 times all of this corner. So distribute the 3. 3n, 3 times 2 is 6, equals 40. Add the 6. 3n equals 46. Now I can divide by 3 like I always did. So n equals 15.3. And again, you can put the bar over, but you don't have to. Just round to the nearest tenth. Number 4 is the same way. Multiply the diagonals. I always like to start with the diagonal that has the variable. So we're going to take 7 times r minus 1 equals 10 times 5. Distribute the 7. Now I can add the 7 by doing the opposite to get rid of it, to move it. So 7r equals 57. Now this one gives you a big long decimal. So I'm going to divide by 7. So r equals, I get 8.14, and it just kind of keeps going. So you can just round to 8.1. So I get 8.1 there. So as you can see, this set is a little bit harder because I had one set of distribute. One set of distribute. Now let's take a look at 5 and 6. So 5 and 6, you can see it's just even still a little bit harder. So 5 and 6, there's 2 different variables. Start it the same way as I did every other problem. Multiply those diagonals. It doesn't matter which direction you start with. So I'm going to start this way, but you can start this way, it doesn't matter. 4a minus 3 equals 3a. Distribute that 4. You've got to remember to distribute. So 4a, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12, equals 3a. Now I have a's on both sides that I want to put together. I wouldn't move the 3a this way because then I wouldn't have anything left over here. So I'm going to move the 4a this way. So subtract 4a. So that way I have a's on one side, numbers on the other. Don't lose that negative. Bring it down. 3 subtract 4 is negative 1a. Now I can go ahead and distribute by the negative 1, or divide by the negative 1, because I still have to solve for a. Well, negative 12 divided by negative 1 gives me a positive 12 equals a. So positive 12 equals A. 6 is pretty much the same way. Multiply your diagonals. So 4x plus 7. Don't forget your parenthesis. 5 times x. So that's where I am so far. Distribute that 4. So 4x. 4 times 7 is 28. Again, I've got x's on both sides. I'm going to move this one this way because I don't want to move the 5x back this way because then I'm going to have anything left. So subtract the 4x. 28 equals 5x minus 4x is 1x or just plain old x. So that's those two. So like I said, a little bit harder because you're going to have to distribute on one side. You'll have to distribute on one side. Now the last two are the trickiest. So let's take a look at the last two. So the last two I've got to distribute twice because we're going to multiply this way, multiply this way. Again, it doesn't matter which direction you're going. So 5 times all of this, 3 times all of this. Don't forget those parentheses. Multiply out the 5. Multiply out the 3. I want to get my m's together, so I'm going to move the 3m to the left. So 2m minus 20 equals negative 24. Move the 20 to the right. So 2m equals negative 4. M equals negative 2 when I divide it by 2. So yes, you might get a negative on these. Not a big deal. So m was negative 2. And then the last one. Multiply your diagonals. 10, a plus 7, 6 times a plus 9. Don't forget those parentheses because I got to show that the 6 gets multiplied to all of this. The 10 gets multiplied to all of this. Distribute the 10. Distribute the 6. Move the 6a over. So 4a plus 70 equals 54. Subtract the 70. 4a equals, now be real careful if you need a calculator for that, use a calculator, because 54 subtracts 70. I had some people trying to say it was 24, but it's 16, because it's really 70 and 54, think of it that way. So I get a negative 16 there, negative 16. So after I divide by 4, I get negative 4. So negative 4 is my answer there. So like I said, this is an algebra review. We're using the algebra review to get us ready for similar figures. Because when we're doing similar figures, there's a lot of proportions. So almost the entire next chapter deals with proportions. So I wanted to review proportions before getting into the next chapter. Now this homework is due Wednesday. So make sure you get it done for Wednesday. I will post the answer key Thursday morning. It has to get turned in by Thursday morning or I will not accept it. So email me if you have any questions. Good luck. Bye-bye.